Hi, this is Adam at The Noise Chap, and this is just a very quick video on what employers need to do in terms of monitoring PPE, specifically hearing protection, to ensure it remains suitable for use. So the noise regs require employers to issue hearing protection, tell employees when and where they need to wear it, to monitor the usage, but also to have a system in place to regularly inspect it to make sure it continues to be suitable. In terms of regular inspections, that really kind of falls down more on the ear muffs side of things, or ear defenders, rather than earplugs. There are some requirements for earplugs where they are reusable, but earmuffs particularly are where this tends to become an issue. So things employers need to look out for are just basically to make sure the earmuffs have not been modified and they remain suitable for use. So that could be a monthly check that one person in the company is designated as somebody who will have a walk round and just make sure everything is still as it should be. Just from my own experience, things to watch out for. At the more extreme end of things, I did go to a joinery workshop once where they decided that the earmuffs were too tight. So they had put the headband through a bandsaw, cut them into two, and then gaffer taped the two halves back together again so they were nice and loose on the ears. Great, really comfortable, absolutely useless as far as ear muffs go. Those things will be doing nothing now. Slightly less dramatically, things to look out for really are wear and tear damage. So have the earmuffs been dropped and got cracked? And also, are the cushions starting to get cracked? Cushions get brittle over time, and then you start to see some cracks appear. And as soon as you get that, the cushions start to get a little firmer, a few little bits of breakage and breaking up in them, and they get less effective. Where they would have knocked off 30 decibels before, that's going to be way below that by now. Just as some examples, this was a pair of earmuffs I saw on the noise assessment where they'd been trodden on. The outer shell was quite badly cracked, so they'd stuffed up the hole with a pair of earplugs to try and just fill it up again. Valiant attempt, it's not going to work. It really isn't. This isn't a particularly expensive pair of earmuffs either. It's just bin them, get some new ones. For the performance, that outer shell integrity is important. That's part of the noise reduction. This one is some earmuffs that are just started to be getting brittle inside, so they've been around too long, and you're just starting to see some cracking on the cushions around the inside. And when that happens again, the noise reduction level really starts to drop down. And the other thing to watch out for is just to make sure they're clean. Are they actually clean enough that there's something you'd want to put on your head? These earmuffs, they've clearly been hanging around on a machine for quite a while. There's no way you're going to really want these on a nice warm day when it's all kind of getting a bit sweaty and a bit moist. You don't want these on your head. Also, have a look out for things like this. These earmuffs clearly not been used for a long time, given the level of dust that was on them. And for an employer, that's a good sign that the hearing protection is not being used. So these things are doing absolutely nothing. In terms of what to do about those cracks around the cushions, if you pay a little bit more for earmuffs, so things like Moldex M2s, Peltor Optim 1, Optim 2, Optim 3s, with those you pay a little bit more than the cheaper end of the scale, but you can buy replacement cushions and the interior foam that goes in those. So you just have some spares for those, and if people are starting to notice it's getting a bit cracked and it's starting to break up, just take the cushions off, take the interior foam out, put the new ones back on, which are cheap as chips, and you're good to go again. That's the advantage really of the more expensive end of the earmuff region. And we're not talking big costs, I mean 13, 15 quid, something like that, in terms of the original earmuffs for the M2s, and then for another 3 quid you can just replace the cushions on them. That's where the cheaper end of the scale tends to become a little bit of a cropper, that those things are usually not replaceable. They're strongly glued on, and once they start to break up, you just need to bin them off and replace them.